Hey there, traveler. Welcome to Travel Vibes. If you've ever wandered through a busy airport, squeezed your backpack under an airplane seat, or stepped off the plane into a city you've never seen before, you're in the right place. Whether you're a solo explorer with a camera slung over your shoulder, a remote worker hopping time zones, or someone finally taking that dream trip after years of saving, this video is for you. Because while travel opens the world, it also opens the door to risk. And after a decade of flying, backpacking, and living out of suitcases, I've learned something most people only realize after they've lost something. Being smart with your stuff is what lets you travel freely. So today, I'm going to walk you through the exact gear and habits that have kept me safe across 6 continents and some of the world's most pickpocket-prone places. Stick with me to the end, because some of these tricks might just change the way you travel forever. And if you're into smart, experience-backed travel advice, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's dive in. 1. Travel smart, not scared. The rule of the 3 Ds. All right, before we jump into gear and gadgets, let's talk about the mindset, the invisible armor every traveler should carry. Whether you're a college grad planning your first Europe trip, a digital nomad bouncing between airports, or a retiree ticking off your bucket list, there's one golden rule that keeps your belongings safe. It's called the 3 Ds: deterrence, delay, and detection. Deterrence means making yourself a harder target than the person next to you. Thieves don't want trouble. They want easy. Delay is about slowing them down. Every second counts. If something takes too long to steal, most will give up. And detection? That's your early warning system, spotting the danger before it becomes disaster. You don't need to be paranoid, you just need a plan. And as we keep going, I'll show you exactly how I layer these 3 ideas step by step into the way I pack, move, and travel. Ready? Let's talk about bags, your first line of defense. 2. Your bag is your armor. Build a theft-resistant travel companion. Now that you've got the mindset, let's talk about the gear that carries your life when you travel. Your bag. For most air travelers in the US, that bag is a carry-on. Maybe you're flying with just a personal item for a weekend getaway, or you're navigating TSA with a backpack stuffed with chargers, passports, snacks, and a laptop. Whatever it is, you're depending on that bag to protect what matters. Here's my rule. If it holds your essentials, it deserves protection. I travel with a carry-on backpack that's more than just convenient. It's built like a fortress. Slash-resistant straps with steel wires inside, zippers that can't be punctured with a pen, hidden compartments. And the best part, RFID blocking pockets to keep digital thieves out of your wallet. Don't want to spend big? No problem. Add carabiners to clip zippers together. Use tiny padlocks or even twist ties to make your bag just annoying enough that a thief will move on. The goal isn't to be impenetrable, it's to be less of a target. Next, let's take it a step further, into the world of secret hiding spots. 3. Hide in plain sight, everyday items that outsmart thieves. All right, your bag's secure, but what happens if someone does get inside? That's where secret stash spots come in. If you're like many US travelers, planning a trip abroad, flying solo, or maybe bringing the family, you probably carry more than you want to risk. Passports, credit cards, emergency cash. And let's be honest, in a rush at the airport or out exploring a new city, it's easy to let your guard down. That's why I never rely on just one hiding place. I spread things out. My top trick? A half-used stick of deodorant. Looks boring, smells normal. But inside? Rolled up bills, a USB backup, and sometimes even an AirTag. I've also used a water bottle with a hidden bottom, an old sock tucked into the lining of my suitcase, a tailor-made zip pocket stitched into my pant leg for $5 in Guatemala. And here's the golden rule. Never keep your cash, cards, and ID in the same spot. If something's lost or stolen, you want to be inconvenienced, not stranded. Coming up next, let's look at travel gear that pretends to be ordinary but hides serious functionality. 4. Clever gear in disguise. Ordinary things with extraordinary security. Sometimes, the best travel tools don't look like tools at all. And that's the beauty of it. If you're the kind of traveler who likes to keep things simple, maybe you're heading out on a budget trip, hopping on weekend flights across the US, or taking your first big international adventure, you probably don't want to lug around bulky, obvious security gear. That's where low-profile, high-function items come in. Take the travel scarf with a hidden zipper. Looks like a cozy accessory. But unzip the seam and there's space for your passport, cash, even a boarding pass. Then there's the travel belt. Not the money belt from the 90s, but a sleek one with a zippered underside. I've worn it through TSA countless times, never once questioned, and it holds enough to get me out of a pinch if my wallet disappears. And one of my favorites? A stash sleeve tucked inside a phone case. Perfect for an emergency $20, a Metro card, or a backup SIM. With tools like these, you're protecting yourself without drawing a single eye. Now let's talk about the decoy strategy. Because sometimes fooling a thief is the smartest move of all. 5. The art of the decoy, outsmarting pickpockets with a fake wallet. Here's a trick that saved me more than once, and it costs less than a latte. Let's face it, if you're traveling from the US, especially if it's your first international trip, you probably stand out more than you realize. American tourists are often seen as easy targets because we tend to carry more and show more. That's where the decoy wallet comes in. Mine's an old leather bifold. Inside, a few expired cards, a fake hotel key, and around $10 in local currency. That's it. If someone demands my wallet, it's the one I give them. Fast, no hesitation. I've even practiced grabbing it without thinking, so I don't fumble in a panic. But here's the thing. I don't always carry it. If I'm just heading to a cafe or out for a walk, I take a single card and a few bills in a hidden pocket. Minimal exposure. Minimal loss if something goes wrong. It's not about living in fear. It's about being 2 steps ahead. Next up, let's talk about something you wear every day, but might not be using to your advantage, your clothing. And yes, it can help you stay theft-proof too. 6. Dress to defend. How your travel outfit can keep you safe. Let's talk clothing, not for style, but for security. If you're like many American travelers, maybe you're flying with just a carry-on or squeezing everything into one backpack for that long-awaited Europe trip, what you wear can actually make or break your travel safety. Take jackets, for example. Brands like Scotta Vest offer outerwear with over 20 hidden pockets, perfect for airports, metro rides, or just wandering through crowded markets. I've used mine to carry everything from passports and phones to earbuds and emergency cash, all zipped safely inside. But you don't need high-end gear to stay protected. I've met seasoned travelers who swear by cargo pants with zippered pockets, or even compression socks with a rolled-up bill hidden in the side. And for those overnight flights, a slim underclothing waist pouch can hold your essentials without bulking you up. The key here is simple. The deeper the pocket, the safer the item. Thieves love quick access. You want layers. Let's keep that layering going, because next up is the one thing almost all of us carry. A smartphone. And it's a magnet for trouble. 7. Guard your pocket vault. Smartphone safety in the air and abroad. Let's be honest, your phone is your lifeline when you travel. From boarding passes and hotel bookings to Google Maps, mobile payments, and social media updates, it holds everything. But for thieves, it's a jackpot. If you're a US traveler heading overseas or even just flying cross-country, your smartphone might be the single most valuable thing you carry. And if someone gets past your lock screen, it's game over. They can drain your accounts, reset your passwords, even impersonate you online. That's why I follow a few golden rules. I rely on Face ID or fingerprint unlock, never a typed PIN in public. I don't store passwords in notes or plain text. I use encrypted password managers like 1Password or Bitwarden. And if I'm going through sketchier areas or taking night transport, I bring a cheap backup phone with just the basics. That way, if the worst happens, I'm not locked out of my world. And next, we're taking this conversation into the hotel room, because even when the door is locked behind you, your stuff isn't always as safe as you think. 8. Hotel room safety hacks. Make your space theft-proof from the inside out. You've landed, made it through customs, and finally checked into your hotel. Time to relax, right? Well, almost. Here's the thing, just because you're behind a locked door doesn't mean your belongings are truly safe. Even in high-end hotels across the US or overseas, theft still happens. And for American travelers who book through apps, use contactless check-ins, or stay in short-term rentals like Airbnbs, that safe zone can be a bit more vulnerable than it seems. So here's what I do to lock down my room. First, I use a retractable cable lock to anchor my backpack or luggage to something solid, like a radiator or bed frame. It's not foolproof, but it keeps someone from walking off with your bag in 30 seconds flat. Then I slip a door wedge alarm under the door at night. If someone tries to enter, it triggers a loud alert. Peace of mind for just a few bucks. And here's a simple one: cover the peephole. I've heard too many stories about reverse viewing tools. A piece of tape or even a sticky note does the trick. Finally, I turn an old phone into a security cam using the Alfred app. It runs quietly in the corner while I'm out. Next, we'll dive into one of my favorite travel tools: cheap, light, and surprisingly powerful: duct tape. Yep, it's more useful than you think. 9. Travel tricks with tape and paper clips. Low-tech, high-impact solutions. Here's a secret veteran travelers swear by: some of the best gear you'll ever pack costs less than $1. Seriously. Whether you're a frequent flyer hopping between major U.S. cities or a first-time traveler heading abroad, don't overlook the power of low-tech travel tools. They're lightweight, easy to carry, and surprisingly effective. Let's start with the MVP: duct tape. I wrap a few layers around my deodorant stick so it doesn't take up space. With it, I've sealed a broken backpack zipper, covered a peephole in a questionable hostel, taped my suitcase zippers shut while traveling overnight by train. Then there's the humble paperclip and safety pin. Together they can clip zipper pulls to stop quick pickpocket access, lock a bag temporarily, and hold your SIM removal tool or backup key. Sometimes, simple tools deliver the smartest solutions, especially when you're delayed at the airport or stuck without access to proper locks. Up next, we shift from tools to awareness, because no gadget beats being mentally one step ahead of trouble. Let's talk travel mindset. 10 street smarts abroad. Why awareness beats any gadget. Let's be real. Gadgets are great, but your sharpest tool? It's your awareness. Especially if you're a U.S. traveler flying solo or with family, navigating busy airports, unfamiliar transit systems, or those tight connections through major hubs like JFK or LAX, being alert can save you when gear alone can't. I've learned that every time I step into a new space, I scan the exits, not because I'm paranoid, but because I want options if something feels off. In crowded buses or metro rides, I keep my bag on my lap, not by my feet. And if I'm wearing a backpack in a packed street or airport line, I wear it on the front or tighten the straps so I can feel any movement. One time in Vietnam, I spotted the same guy accidentally bumping into tourists near an ATM. Most people didn't notice, but because I was watching, I moved away before he tried anything. You can't always identify a thief, but you can recognize when something doesn't feel right, and that instinct, trained over time, is priceless. Next, we'll explore a few powerful gadgets that make a big impact, especially in 2025. Trust me, you'll want these in your carry-on. 11. Smart travel tech for 2025. Tiny tools that make a big difference. Alright, if you're flying in 2025, especially from the US, where tech-savvy travelers are packing lighter and smarter, these are the tools you should never leave home without. First up, the Apple AirTag. I tuck one deep inside every bag. Synced to my Find My app, it gives me peace of mind whether my carry-on's in an overhead bin or accidentally rerouted to another continent. Next, I always pack a small USB stick loaded with encrypted copies of my passport, boarding passes, insurance, and emergency contacts. If you lose your phone or get locked out of your email, it's a lifesaver. My new favorite, a mini motion sensor alarm. It fits in the palm of your hand and instantly alerts you if someone tampers with your hotel door or touches your luggage. And finally, a Faraday pouch to block wireless signals. It keeps my passport chip, credit cards, and digital key cards safe from high-tech skimming. These aren't fancy gimmicks, they're practical habits for staying one step ahead. And in our final chapter, I'll share the story that taught me why all of this matters. 12. The night I learned everything. One story, one lesson that stuck. Let me wrap this up with the story that made all of this real. I was in Colombia, Cali to be exact, walking home from a salsa class late at night. I'd done everything right that day. My cash was split up, backup phone at the hostel, and my main phone tucked deep in my sock, right next to my ankle. Then a guy approached me on the street. Friendly face, asked for directions. I leaned in, thinking nothing of it. That's when he grabbed my wrist, pulled me close, and whispered, "Dame tu cellular." "Give me your phone." He said he had a gun, but I saw nothing, and honestly, he looked more nervous than I was. So I smiled, calmly said no, gracias, and walked away. Not because I'm fearless, but because I'd prepared for that exact moment, and that preparation gave me confidence enough to stay calm and stay safe. And that, my friend, is what this entire video is about. Ready for the final wrap-up? Let's land this. Closing: travel with confidence, not caution. At the end of the day, everything we've covered, from duct tape to decoy wallets, AirTags to awareness, is about one thing: giving you the confidence to explore without fear holding you back. Because yes, theft can happen, but when you travel smart, you shift the odds in your favor. You become less of a target and more of a traveler in control. So here's my question for you. What's your go-to travel trick that thieves would absolutely hate? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And if you found something useful in this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to Travel Vibes, and stick around for more ways to level up your travel game. Wherever you're headed next, go boldly. Travel safe, travel smart, and most importantly, travel like you.